Okay, internet. Saludos. Hello, everybody. Now, let's see. I am David. I am talking to you guys, whomever might be watching, if anybody's watching, thank you. And I had made a video today about my better half, who is obviously, um, you know, a very beautiful young lady, and she is very special. Regardless what I say, it doesn't matter. In any day of the week, obviously, we all know. Just in general, you know. Déjame ver ahora mismo. Okay, but anyways, what I was getting to the point of this video is that since my better half left with our daughter, they went to go visit to my better half's mom, my daughter's grandmother, which also included my daughter's sister, which is my better half's older sister. I mean, better half's older daughter, and I hadn't seen them in a while, and I was very excited. And in the video, sorry, that's my mom. She doesn't want me to make these videos, which is okay. Nobody wants me to make these videos, which actually might add more to the intrigue to it, but maybe not. But nonetheless, earlier today I had some combos, and then I also ended up making a video because it was just a little bit like I said, it was a little bit I felt a little bit bewildered or dumbfounded at the fact that my better half wanted to return home so quickly, due to the fact that she had sent me a message a couple days ago saying that, oh, we're having a blast, we're having fun, isn't that what you wanted? I didn't reply at first. Actually, the reason why I had messaged her that day is because before she left, we would sit in the backyard and have convos. And I like to just try to have convos, just sit down and talk, for the most part, I really don't, I mean, I do get offended, of course. I'm a human being, but a lot of the times, it's just like, why waste your time being angry, upset, or anything? Just forgive or listen and try to understand other people's, where they're coming from. And, that'll make it a lot easier for you to understand, their feelings and maybe why they did what they did. And will also help you to forgive, without just forgiving blindly, But of course, just forgiving just to forgive, it's also, it's a miraculous act, just to be able to forgive even without the facts. But if you can have some facts to show you more of a reason to forgive, whatever works best. But remember that the power of forgiveness, hey, like I said, if you want to think about Jesus, two things: golden rule, forgiveness. Okay? Muhammad, who came after Jesus, I still have to learn a lot about him, so I really don't know, so I'm not one to speak about it. But as far as Jesus goes, when I see people on the streets, I'll say, if I hold up a sign saying, please help, in reality, it's just because I need to come up with some money. I'm unemployed, and people are very kind. For the most part, they're very, 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 especially when you have a smile on your face and, you wave hi to people and stuff like that. And, you just have an overall friendly attitude. And, for the most part, it's nice interacting. Even when you're not even getting money, but somebody just waves hi to you or smiles at you, that's priceless. That's something that you can't put a dollar amount on. Just seeing somebody else having a positive reaction to you being there, that's something that is actually, like I said, you can't put a dollar amount to that. Now, of course, you can't put a dollar amount to the amount of money that people give you, but the problem is then that can create greed, and that can create, that you want to go out there just to get money. But I don't like the idea of going out there thinking, oh, I just want to get money. No, I like to go out there with the idea that I'm going to be able to see other people, I'm going to be able to see other, especially because I live in suburbia, and because I live in suburbia and I don't have a car, it's hard. And even when you have a car, it might even be harder. It's hard to see other people, just in their elements. So like if I'm standing on a median and I'm holding up a sign, I actually get to see people up close. I get to see families, I get to see, maybe older couples, younger individuals, maybe some younger couples, families, and the way that they react to when they see somebody that's in need. And of course, there's a lot of people out there that have a negative connotation, or I don't know the exact word, about people that are out there, saying that they need help, like monetary wise, which is okay because a lot of these people, um, have built up that negative image of people that are, in need of financial help, because a lot of them are suffering through, they got themselves in that place because of a lot of things in life that did not go well. The most being is some type of addiction, whether it be gambling, alcohol, drugs. I mean, alcohol is a drug, but I mean, it's considered differently because, it's legal and it's served in a whole bunch all over the place. No, este es el iPhone 13 mini. So nonetheless, when I go out there, it actually it gives me a personal sense of fulfillment because, when I get to see people and, and when they see me and, they stop and talk and, we have different conversations. Oh, yo te lo traje para que papá no se despertara. Ahora lo llamo. Espera, yo lo traje acá afuera. ¿Dónde lo puse? Oh, okay. So anyway, me personally, I prescribe it as a very positive experience because I get, like I said, I get to meet a lot of people and very wonderful individuals. For the most part, the people that are not happy with what's going on, they just usually tend to ignore you, which is okay. Whatever their motives is. Usually people with money, they don't like to give out money because they have, in my opinion, they have a mentality that, they worked hard for what they have, and therefore they don't want to give out handouts. They expect other people to work hard just like they did, which is okay, but the people that, it's all types of people. A lot of different people. There's so many people in this world, and that's one of the things that I like about it, because one of the things about suburbia is that unless you have like a job where you deal with customer service, or you get to see people on a daily basis, you don't get a lot of interaction with other people. And then when you do get interaction with other people, most of the time it's in an environment where you are getting possibly paid an hourly wage. If you get paid a salary, they're gonna work to the point where it's probably not even worth it. And the people that you meet there, for the most part, you meet them under that environment, and then you might be able to chit chat for a little bit. They might ask you a couple questions about your job and this and that, which is okay. That's cool. Working is a wonderful experience. Especially for somebody maybe who's only done it for the first time, or someone that's young and has new experience, or someone that just got back into the work field and is very excited. I'm not sure exactly. There could be a lot of different scenarios. But for me, if I was to go and I was to go talk to people and I just hold up whatever sign, I'll say a sign. At this point, I could probably just say a sign. I could just hold up a sign saying thank you, and I bet you a lot of people don't even look at them half the time. I could probably just hold up a sign saying thank you, and people would just wave hi, and offer money. Actually, I'm gonna try that one day. But for the most part, I found it, just like the word kiss, keep it simple, stupid. If you ever are gonna hold up a sign, it's very important to keep it to the primaries. So in other words, for me, the primaries are going to be these right here. Let me see if I can get a good shot here between my trees and some light. So keep it simple, stupid to me would be the sign that I have noticed that works, and this is going to be universal for I would think maybe 90% of the people out there, is please help. You can put that in lowercase letters if you want up on top, and then underneath in uppercase letters, try to make it a little bit bigger and a little bit thicker. Put the word thanks, THANKS, maybe underline it, but the most important thing there is thanks, because in my opinion, once you show that you are grateful, it really shows a part of your personality that person who has no idea who you are, and maybe they may have seen you before, but maybe they never have, automatically they know that you have a thankful heart. And a thankful heart is a happy heart. And that's one of the most important things about, like if you need monetary help, if you can show that you have a thankful heart, yes, you do need monetary help. But whether it comes your way or not, it's not gonna stop the fact that you are a happy individual, okay? Yes, we all need money because, unfortunately, we put our faith in fiat money, and it's not an unfortunate thing. It's worked for a while. And with all the things going on right now in world economics, with, you have the North American free trade agreement or whatever, and then you have Europe, joining forces together to create their euro, of which the UK is no longer a part of. And then now you have this other thing between Brazil, India, China, and I think South Africa, which I do not understand how that works, because China and India are China and India are under border disputes, number one. Number two, the South African currency, I don't know how stable it is, just the country itself. I'm not 100% sure of its stability in the sense of, global trade and, like just simple things. Like one of the things that I heard that is important in a country for it to be able to prosper is to be able to have a well sense of allowing people to invest into that country's real estate without having to worry about losing their investments. Now, is South Africa reached a level where where they are where they can sell real estate to foreigners as an investment? Also, another thing, different countries may have different countries of their own. They may have how do you call it? Their own how we have here the NASDAQ and the Fortune 500, their own Wall Streets, okay? But the thing is, unless it's a capitalistic government, which we all know capitalism, as much as capitalism just favors the people that are usually either already, have some type of not necessarily wealth, but some type of savings accumulated to where maybe they can put money into maybe a portfolio or something like that. It all depends, one, on on the market that they want to start trading in. But not all markets are created equal, obviously. Like for instance, China. Not a lot of people are looking forward to invest in China, but China has always been kind of secluded, almost. I mean but one thing that I heard in the news, I don't know how true it is. If anybody wants to counter my point, China, after the beginning of when Putin invaded Ukraine, the Chinese banks did not condone the war on Ukraine because they had to follow they didn't have to, but they followed the U.S. banks. To go to show you how much power the U.S. banking system has, in the rest of the world economy. Now there are some economies that are have recently exploded due to they have these natural resources that they have come upon. Their populations are very low. I don't know if they're nomadic tribes or something, like for instance, like in the Middle East and stuff like that. A lot of them, they became rich off of black oil. I mean, not black gold or whatever, the oil rush. And then they tried to do a lot of things to diversify their economy. They try to make it like an economy like how we have right now, like a service economy. They try to change things so that they can try to move forward towards the future. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of, I don't know if the word is geopolitics, but there's a lot of things that are going on that are going to affect a lot of these different things. And depending on where you live, the media, for the most part, is not mostly free. The media in the majority of countries is usually dictated by a couple families, or if not by the government, or it's just pure propaganda, and they just let you know what they want you to know. That way you make an informed decision based on how they want you to make that decision. Usually it's so that it will benefit their regime. And with that being said, it's very, the flow of information, like for instance, Turkmenistan, I was surprised that, a lot of the people in that country, from what I heard the other day, are able to hear from the opposition party. And I was like, how do they do that? And it's because they got antennas, and with those antennas, I don't know if they log on to VPNs and they're able to get information from the opposition party. But rest in peace, their former dictator, who was quite a character. And I'll admit, Turkestan is a very unique I forget the name, but it was a very unique place. I found it kind of intriguing. It was beautiful in its own right. It had a lot of marble imported from Italy, but the people were not very well educated, and as a result, you had some older men that they didn't really question their they didn't question at all their dictator, because their dictator essentially made schooling his own curriculum. He made them practice his book, which was kind of like a Bible to them. And for the most part, most of the things that were expressed in that book, they weren't negative per se, but the problem was that there weren't really universities, there weren't really ways for people to get ahead in life. And one thing I saw on YouTube was that there wasn't a lot of formal education in that country, and that really took a toll on the country's infrastructure, on the country's maybe service industry. And they were doing for instance, their city was largely based on let me grab a little sea over here, because I'm kneeling down. Does this have any water in it? No. We put it in here. Some water will get in there. and then we'll be able to use it later. All right, let's move this chair over here. Those are my 2 avocado trees. Let me see if I can remember them. This is semilla. I just know because of the trunks. And this right here is 22nd. I know because it's tall and it doesn't really have many trunks going out. And then in the front of the house, we have 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven we moved into a bigger pot. I had to put this thing here because after we moved it, the trunk started moving forward. So at first I wrapped it around the front. Now I wrapped it around the middle. It seems to be holding up pretty well. And this one I didn't really trim it that much, so it has a lot of leaves. But I'm glad we put it in the bigger thing. But eventually we really are gonna have to put them on the ground. I just don't know, because the problem is that because they give fruit, I don't want to be giving a whole lot of fruit of avocados. And if I do, I'm gonna have to make it so that they land. Well, let me try to clean this up. So that they land in on our property, because the avocado tree that we already have, we had a problem that I don't think we foresaw, and that problem was that it started landing on the neighbor's property. So one of these days, as soon as I get myself up to it, I am going to go up there with a chainsaw, and I'm gonna first I really have to cut the branches that are on top of the ceiling, because those can cause damage to the roof. I mean, to the ceiling. I mean, well, yeah, to the roof. You know, with time and weathering. All right, that's enough. All right, that's enough right there. Let's put it right there. All right, so anyways, let's go ahead and have a seat right now. All right, so as I was saying, the sun's over there. Let's change this over here so you guys can see me well. All right, maybe now you can see me a little bit better, see my face a lot brighter. So going back to what I was talking about, I had no idea what I was talking about. I was talking about Turkmenistan, and they had a dictator for a while. Turkmenistan was, if I'm not mistaken, it's just south of Kazakhstan and north of Iran, somewhere out there. It's kind of near Turkey, but not so much. I forget exactly where it is, but beautiful country in my opinion. It only has 2 major cities. The people, the women are very beautiful. The men are very kind. The country has, for all of its residents, free electricity. The water is a little bit more difficult to come across. A liter of gasoline is like, I don't know, like 10 cents maybe. But the problem is there hasn't been a lot of formal educational facilities available to the public. So therefore, they have problems with I believe with the water running off. They didn't build infrastructure to allow water to run off into the sea. I don't know how well they do with their like sanitary things, like the cleaning of the water and things like that. I'm not exactly sure. They do have one airline, and it's some rather nice planes, of course, and it's very hard to obtain a visa. It is an Islamic country, I believe, so you have to follow the rules of the Quran for the most part, which is fairly simple. As long as you're Christian, you should be okay. but not one of those Christians where you can divorce women or something like that. You got to be like a devout Christian, I believe. But I find that country beautiful, you know. But some of the urban design, in my opinion, was not done to the best of the ability. Um, they made like these wide roads for cars, and a lot of people own cars, and then like the buildings that were made out of marble, which was allegedly imported from Italy, which is a beauty to see. It's very beautiful, but not a lot of people want to live there, because since not a lot of people have cars, it's hard to live in a car-centric, you know, our car-centric society, a car-centric city, anything. Like even here where I live right now in Pembroke Pines, it's purely car-centric. You know, you have you know, like right now, right here, this is just 25 miles per hour. I guess you consider this a street. You know, you can just, this is a residential street, right? So you know, you go at a slow mile per hour, and that's it. You know, you get to where your destination is, and that's it. And the only two traffic are the people that are coming to visit somebody or whatever. Then you have so that would be a street. Then you have a road, which is what was it? The road was like you know, like not a highway. I forget what the difference was, but one of the problems that we do have here in the U.S., which I'm going to address right now, which I think I remember correctly, is stroads. Stroads we have plenty of, and the problem with stroads is that they are essentially almost like highways, or you know, like long distance roads that are supposed to be made for cars to travel high speeds. They might have you know, an 8-lane highway, 4 heading one side, 4 heading one side. It might turn into a 10-lane highway when they have turning lanes, or 10 lane or more. And it's very difficult for pedestrians. It's not pedestrian friendly at all. That's why here in the U.S. we have you know, most deaths are caused from car accidents, whether it be, you know, car and pedestrians. But yeah, car accidents number one, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, heart disease number 2. So it's just but that's because we have been programmed, just like the television, you know, television programming. And I noticed this in my mom the other day. We have been programmed to believe that the bigger the car, the safer you are, and just the more benefits you're gonna get. Like for instance, the other day, my mom, who has this car right behind me, it's a brand new Toyota Corolla, brand new, and it's a hatchback too, so you don't see these that often. See, Corolla hatchback, very limited. You know, you can put a nice little sound system in it because it doesn't have essentially a trunk. So you put like a subwoofer in there. Let me see, is it open? Yep, you can see that it's open. So if you put a subwoofer in there, that subwoofer is gonna resonate throughout the whole cabin. And you could put some, you know, nice speakers in there. You could even keep the factory radio, which I always enjoyed, and just add like you know, the speakers that you want, and that thing that routes the noise to different speakers. I forget what it's called. And this car right here would be amazing for a sound system, and it can be inconspicuous. You know, you just leave the rims. You know, you could even leave it without tints. And look, somebody driving a golf cart. You see that out here often. So yeah, so this is a Toyota Corolla hatchback, which you don't see many of these. But like I said, mom has been programmed. I think part of it has to do with the fact that maybe in the past she had like lower sitting vehicles that would like when like the roads got wet, you know, it probably resulted in her car turning off. But this was such a long time ago that the vehicles she was driving, they were older vehicles, they weren't new vehicles. And you know, technology has changed. I'm sure car manufacturers have taken into account that, all right, this vehicle might encounter, you know, you know, maybe some flooding in certain parking lots, this and that. And you know, with that in mind, you know, these engineers that design these cars would take all those things into account so that, you know, their vehicle is not going to turn out to be a flop. But the but the car industry in the United States has lobbied, they just straight up, how do you call it? What's the other word for lobby? You know, they pretty much paid, our politicians, illegally. They bribed them so that they could do a type of campaigning, and that campaign was that the best vehicles to buy here in the U.S. were SUVs. And the reason was because there was a tariff put on foreign cars that wanted to compete in the SUV market. They would make it so that if a car was foreign and wanted to compete in the U.S. in the U.S. Market for SUVs, they would charge them a huge tariff, probably like 100%, because their car was made from abroad. So the cars that were made here domestically, that were SUVs, were offered at a much cheaper rate. So car companies doubled down on making advertisements, on campaigning, saying that their cars are safer, saying that their cars can do this, can withstand this, they can go over these puddles, just everything. And that's why here in the US, we have not just a car-centric society, but a car-centric society where cars are just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And as a result of that, people don't want to walk because, for instance, if I'm going to walk to my nearest store, and you guys take a walk with me, I'm going to do this right now out of fun. I'm not wearing my glasses, so I'm just going to walk right here. Look, that's the mailbox. That's the postmaster. Postmaster's putting the mail right there. The neighbors, our thing is over there. Oh my goodness. I accidentally these were weeds that I pulled from the front of the house, because dad asked me to thank you. Dad asked me to water this part right here because he had planted some seeds. And what is this? Oh, this is a Hershey's. I've been wanting a Hershey's for heaven knows how long. Oh gosh. I told mom would never pay attention to me. But anyways, I don't know what this is. This is Scott's. This might have to do with what dad put, because Scott's is a brand that has to do with can you read it there? Scott's, yeah. Scott's that's a brand that has to do with like grass. Hey, how you doing there, 7-Eleven? All right, let's bring the mail first. I know this video is gonna run for a while, so if you guys want to come along with me. Oh look, we have a package for Vilma, and then we have our regular mail. All right, thank you guys, I appreciate it. I know I'm not doing any jump cuts. I know this is not your typical YouTube where people just get to the point. I'm just recording this because I really don't know a lot. I don't have a lot of experience with YouTube, even though I've recorded probably 300 plus videos. But I don't have the only thing that I have to do everything with is what I'm holding in my hand. It is an iPhone 13 mini. I'm sure there's some things that I have to learn, but until then, I still haven't learned how to do the jump cut. And estoy haciendo video. Ah, ok, bueno. Ya. Voy a hacer la segunda parte, entonces no me vas a escuchar. Oh my goodness, Mom heard me talking all the way from out there. All right, now, since I'm going to be walking to the nearest store, which I don't know exactly how far it is, but let's see, what cap should I put on? Let's put on our white socks. Let's bring me back to the days when I used to be a fan of Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre was a producer from, I believe, Compton, or if not, from Los Angeles. And he had teamed up with, well, actually, before he even did his rap, he was a member of like a funk group. I forget what it was called. And it was kind of funny in the beginning, but you know what? It was music, and I give him a lot of props for it. All right, so I put my thing right back there. Oh, this is the bike that my neighbor gave me. I have to give a shout out. I think her name's Jennifer, not Jessica. I forget. It was her dad's bike, and I was riding it every day. It's a beautiful bike. It doesn't go down like a Dutch bicycle. It's a Nassau, but it does have the basket, all steel frame. It has the back thing. But since I started riding it after I got a flat tire on the one inside the garage, you see this? That's from having driven my daughter home all those days, and I fixed it with these things to hold this up. So I gotta get a new tire, but I want to get a tire with this like yellow thing or whatever color it is, and the other one is like an all white tire. All right, let's grab this. Grab that right there. Okay, so I'm about to make my way to the nearest shopping center. So here we are in the sidewalk. Now, let me see. Oh look, there's somebody walk. Oh, that's our neighbor. Okay, I know who that is. Okay, so I live on the 4th. This is the 3rd, and that's my neighbor over there. He's a teacher. He's a wonderful gentleman. He has really some cool stuff for like for summer, and he has 2 sons that are, I'm not sure how old they are right now. They might be in high school. Hello. But he's a very smart gentleman, and his wife too. They're both school teachers. Very, very, very smart people. This is the house that gave me that bike. She is a wonderful lady. I hope she hasn't moved out yet. Her father passed away, and her father was a really cool person. You know, he was like an older individual. You know, he don't take SHIT from anybody, and you know, it was nice to have him around. You know, he always had a cigar in his mouth, and you know, it was just nice having him around. You know, it was like a little refreshing, you know, to see an older man taking care of his home until unfortunately he passed away. I'm not exactly sure what the reason was. If I had to guess, I would say it was probably complications with maybe some type of COPD or lung cancer, because like I said, he did like to smoke his cigars, just like I like to smoke my cigarettes. All right, so I walked out onto the main street, which is this right here. This is Hiatus Road, and as you guys saw, I'm only the 4th house away from the main road, or Hiatus Road, I should say. It's actually called North Hiatus Road because Pines Boulevard is the divider. Anything north of Pines Boulevard is North Hiatus Road. Anything south of Pines Boulevard is South Hiatus Road. So now, since the walking sign is white, you see right there, that little walking thing, I'm gonna go ahead and cross the street. There's a car right there waiting for me. Thank you. And now this is the part where we gotta wait. Because even though that right there is like that, it's gonna take a little while. So this would be the cross where I just came from, right over there. And this would be the cross. This would be the cross right over there. I don't know if you can see the red hand. And now let's see. All right, and then you see that the white hand is blinking red. Oh, and it stopped red. That means that it's see, yup, yellow and red. Let's run. See, those cars over there are turning, but I was able to get in front of them because I ran. I don't recommend that because you're technically supposed to wait until this. See? Once you get that, that means that you can go. So now here is the closest plaza to where I live. It's called Cooper City. No, Cooper City is the name of the city. The name of the plaza is I'll be damned if I remember. I'll probably find out more up there. Embassy Lakes Plaza. Embassy Lakes Plaza is the name of the plaza. It just said Cooper City up there because, you know, right now, as soon as we cross Sheridan Street, we entered a new city. So I live exactly on the border, but I live on the Pembroke Pines side. So I've been living in Pembroke Pines for approximately 20 years now. I moved in well, my parents and I moved in approximately 1993, 2003, 2013, 2023, yeah, 30 years. Before that, we spent a brief time in, when we first moved, we spent a brief time in Hollandale, which is a city just south of Hollywood Boulevard and east of Miramar. Okay, so we spent a brief stint in and like I said, we spent a brief stint in that city I just said to you, Hollandale Beach. After Hollandale Beach, we moved to Hollywood. I lived in Hollywood for maybe a couple years. Okay, good. I didn't stop the video. All right, when I lived in Hollywood, I attended Sheridan Lakes Elementary, which was quite an experience. Actually, I think I might have attended Pembroke Lakes. Sheridan Lakes Elementary, even when I was living in the other city, Hollandale Beach Boulevard. And the reason why I say that is because I really don't recall a school before that. When I moved here, I was 7 years old. It was in January of 1990. I remember that my aunt Maritza was pregnant, and from what she used to tell me, that I would rub her belly and I would say, Maritza, ojalá que tengas un varón para que yo pueda tener mi propio amigo con quien jugar. Meaning that I wanted her to have a boy so that I could have a friend to play with. You know, I was 7 years old and that's all I wanted. I just wanted to have a friend to play with. I mean, I think I did have a couple friends when I was in Colombia, but I wanted this to be like my best friend, which I never got to know, unfortunately, because I moved January of the year 2000, and my cousin was not born until May 21st of 1990. And to top things off, it was not a boy, it was a girl. A beautiful young lady, Daniela, who would grow up to, and she's not done growing up yet. She still has a lot left to go. And Daniela, si estás viendo esto, ojalá que el futuro te traiga nada sino lo mejor para ti, y que te traiga, tú sabes, bendiciones que tú nunca te has podido imaginar, because tú lo mereces. Y hello, tú sabes, tú lo mereces, y ojalá que siempre sigas en el paso bien, en el paso bueno, o por lo menos mucho mejor que el paso que yo tomé. And that would be great, because that's Maritza's daughter. Maritza and Carmen, they were my most favorite caretakers in the whole wide world when I was living in Colombia. And it's not to say that my parents were not there for me. The opposite. My parents were the rock. They were the foundation of the whole reason why I'm even standing here recording this. My parents had did so many sacrifices, during their time. They worked hard, while their children were at home being taken care of by my mom's sister and her mom. Both my mom and my father worked so that they would be able to provide a roof. They would be able to provide food, and all that came at a cost to them. And that cost being that, for me, for instance, I became more attached to my grandma and my aunt than I did to my very own parents. Now, could you imagine being a parent and working so hard only to find out that your offspring took a liking to his aunt and his grandma more than he did to his parents? That's gotta be, I'm sure my parents were very smart and very intelligent, and I would imagine they were more emotionally intelligent than I were. So, they just understood it for what it was. They kept doing what they had to do. And with them doing what they had to do, that's the only reason why we were able to survive, and we were able to survive and go through all those things that we did, just because of that. And that's why my parents they're gods. I know that Christianity and Judaism and also Islam, they celebrate is it monotheistic? It's like a one God. But let's take a moment to reflect on the truth. Someone who did so much sacrifice to the point where the very offspring who they gave birth to, the very offspring who they gave birth to was the very offspring that they gave birth to was able to the very offspring that they were able to give birth to was able to, how do I say it? They were able not to take it personal in that sense. They were able to not take it personal in that. Okay, I got a problem. I'm gonna have to make I'm gonna have to cut the two parts of the video together because as I was walking out of the Dollar Tree, I accidentally hit the stop button. I'm sorry. So anyways, pretty much what I had finished saying, if I can recall it correctly, was that, you know, normally how I can say, the other day I had said something, and what I said was, you know, even though the Bible was written during a time when most of the people that used to be able to write were only men, and therefore that's why God is a man, I'm starting to have like almost indisputable proof that God is a man. And the reason for that being is because for the most part, a lot of the attention that we pay in our society is towards women. Women received, you know, a lot of the attention, you know, in regards to whatever. But how often is attention given towards men? Okay? Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but that is kind of like almost like a metaphor asked into like, how often do we give attention just to God? You know, there are so many things that distract us in this life that it's very easy to get distracted and to forget that, you know, the main reason we're here is because of that, you know. So like, as I was mentioning before about going out on the streets and asking for donations, I don't really, you know, I have always liked to double task, okay? So I figured if I'm gonna be out there in the middle of the streets, there's a lot of cars in the streets. So, and if other people see this, which if they do, you probably don't have any reason to go panhandle. I only did it because I learned it from friends from back in the days. And then as a result, I realized something that, you know, I'm not gonna discuss unless somebody grants me an interview. But what I realized was, let's say you spend half the time holding up a sign saying, please help, thanks. Okay? Alright, so you hold up a sign for that. But then once the cars start moving, what do you decide to do? There's going to be other cars coming from the other way. There's going to be cars that are moving that don't stop. So what I decided to do was, I decided to put my own twist on holding up a sign. So let's say I had an A side to my how do you call it? You know, to my car, and that says please help, thanks. I would have a B side, and the B side would consist of many different things. I believe one of the first things that I put was love is. Very simple. Love is. And if it takes you a while to try to understand what that means, it's okay. You know, maybe talk to somebody who I don't know, studies, is it theology? I forget the word, but you know, somebody who has experience in like spirituality, you know, that kind of thing. So I would put up love is. I would try to make it as large as I can, and I would show it to the cars that were coming the other way. All right, and then eventually I would change it up to a couple things. One of the other things that I put was just thanks. You know, like how they say, give thanks. So I would just put thanks, and I would just show that to the other side. And I would try not to waste any precious time, because one of the things here in the States, because one of the fact that it's car centric, it's very difficult for people to, have a lot of patience, unless they're like in their teenagers, or maybe perhaps even in their 20s. But once they get into their late 20s, or just even 20s, or anything older than that, it becomes a lot harder to be able to drive into these streets, because they've done it for such a long time. Some of them have to commute for, if not an hour, for hours every day just to get to work, and it's no longer pleasant. That's why I took a liking to bicycle. And I did enjoy driving in Barranquilla, but that's because Barranquilla is kind of like other places of the world, like India. There's a place in India where they don't really have like signs to show like the different roads, and they do that on purpose. I forget, there's just like I forget what it's called, but they say that when they don't have any like signs for roads or any signs for stopping or go, it makes drivers more vigilant, and it makes them pay more attention. I don't know how true that works. Hola, ¿cómo está? But yeah. Anyways, nonetheless, I recorded this video just for a long time, just to, just record and have fun. I was able to take a quick pause somewhere. There goes our beautiful, that's 22nd. Here we got Semilla. Yeah, so when I came here to the United States, I had to learn English. I had to do 1 grade over again. And oh, look at those sleeves are a lot bigger. Yeah, look at that. I know I told you guys already that my cursive, the teacher saw me handing the paper in cursive, and she's like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "It's my work." She's like, "No, we haven't learned this yet. Go back to your desk, write it in manuscript, and then turn it in." I was like, all right. I cut some trees and some limbs on the bottom. I hope I didn't make a big mistake. I don't like how that leaf is looking right there. I've been putting a lot of caffeine, but I gotta start. Over here, that kind of looks like from the sun, the radiation of the sun. I don't think that's really like that right there. I'm not sure. That right there looks like it was like something that ate it, all those leaves right there. So this one's probably like the one that took it the worst. This is Semilla. But 7-Eleven is the most healthiest looking one. It's got the 3 trunks. Look over there, that looks from radiation from the sun. Remember, the sun has a lot of radiation. Sometimes if you happen to take a good look to I forget what, if it's, I don't know if it's like a plastic window. Oh, I walked right past it. But you can literally see the radiation of the sun like moving like this towards the ground. It is extremely crazy. And not to mention, all of the oh look, here's some leaves that look like they were whatever. This is 7-Eleven, which is the tallest one, and it's the one that sprouted the most. I did not cut any leaves off of this one. I did have to put this little thing here because it started going to the side. At first I wrapped it all around 3 trunks, and then I moved it just to the 2nd trunk, and I didn't make it that tight. ¿Vas a salir? Oh, gracias. Compré una Coca-Cola.
Tu mamá quería 2.
Oh.
Bueno, una 100 por hoy.
Okay. Gracias, Dad. So I put it around 1. Initially I put it around 3, but then I left that one. I put it around the 2. I didn't put it too tight. I tried to make it so that the dirt is a little bit sturdier there than it is here. And oh, Oh, ya lo cogí. Yeah, so it's got this trunk that comes out here. The leaves. Oh, can I get a good glimpse of it? These aren't coming that much. Up here, it's very hard, not too much light. And then here's some leaves right here that came out, and there's a leaf right there coming down the middle. Yeah, so a lot of different things that happen. So yeah, so at the end of the day, no matter where you are on this planet, number one, honor mom and dad, okay? I don't care what religion you are, even if you're an atheist, that's okay. Honor your parents, all right? Now, sometimes your parents might tell you things that you disagree with. Try to have a conversation with them, all right? And if for some reason they don't, they don't engage in like a formal conversation, see if you can get like one of their siblings involved, like an aunt and uncle. Mami, yo traje solamente una Coca-Cola. Yo no sabía que querías dos.
Oh, ok. Yo no quería, yo quiero el mulch. Acompaña a tu papá para que lo ayude. ¿Qué tienes en el ojo?
Nada.
Todavía estás en el video, David, y estás gastándote la data
No, es video.
Claro que se gasta la data. Ah, que no lo has puesto todavía.
No, eso lo hago aquí. No, él ahora mismo fue a Publix, entonces cuando regrese le digo que vayamos a okay, bueno. Okay, so yeah, speak to like an aunt and uncle. Let them know, hey, I'm trying to speak to your brother, your sister. They're not giving me much leeway. Could you please kind of like, well, first discuss with them what the problem is, because they might just be on their side, so it might not even work out against for you. But try to discuss it with them, because parents usually don't want anything bad for their child. They're just looking for the best interest. But sometimes it might be a little bit too extreme, but most of the time it's not that it's too extreme. It's just maybe they just don't understand, and they might need somebody to like explain it to them a little bit better, things like that. So like for instance, when I was young, I was dumb, and that really didn't get me anywhere. And then I continued being dumb for a long time, and right now, after speaking with my psychiatrist, she recommended me that I take a class, but there are only really two classes that I'm really interested in taking in. One is a language class. I would love to learn how to speak, if it's a goal that I want to make, I figured put Italian first because it's easier, and I heard the other day that it's better to put easier goals first. That way when you accomplish something, you feel good. And for me, Italian is a phonetic language. It would be rather easy to learn. I bet you I think if I practice with somebody for like 3 to 6 months, maybe I teach them English, they teach me Italian, and I watch enough movies, with subtitles, I may have a chance of learning it a little bit. But what I would really like to learn is German. I would like to learn German. I mean, of course, Chinese, but, as of right now, Italian as a stepping stone. That way I can learn something fast, and feel good about, having accomplished something. German, because, I love the culture. I love Ramstein. I love, Bundesliga. You know, it's just amazing. And also, I mean, not to mention Germany has the strongest economy in all of Europe, which really shouldn't have much to do with it because, you know, whatever. They're all different types of economy, which is what makes them unique. You know, just like how the Italians like to be stuck in, like, you know, back in the days. The French are really ahead of time with, like, you know, innovation. I believe the British are too. I mean, so all of them are pretty much. But French to me is a little bit more difficult. Kind of like even though I'm gonna stop talking because I can't cut. And then the thing that I really would like to learn down the road, and I'm talking about not a 5, but maybe like a 10, 15-year plan, would be to be a dermatologist. That's what I've always wanted to do. You know, cover the hours. I don't have to get called in for emergencies. And there was a Touch.0 video that I saw that made me realize, like, you know, I think I can handle this. Because I wanted to do it at first, but then when I found out what they had to do, I was like, I do not want to do this. But now after I saw that Touch.0 video and I saw that young lady, I think she was Asian, doing it, I was like, you know what? I can definitely do this. And yeah. Now, my problem is that I don't know if I would have enough time to do these things before mom and dad, you know, ultimately met their demise. But that doesn't mean that it would stop me, because I know that they would know, because that's just what I believe. I know that they would know that that's the direction I was heading, and that's what I accomplished. Just like for everybody else, you know, if you lost somebody, you didn't lose them. They're with us. They're part of the universe, just like all of us. And when I mean universe with a capital U, of course. So, yeah, I'm sorry I haven't posted in a while. I've been watching a lot of videos. I've been watching lately Wavy Web Serve. I've been watching, what else? Well, the Y-Files I already mentioned to you guys about. I've been watching, there was no one besides Wavy Web Serve. Oh, I forget the name of it. But, yeah. I'm watching a lot of YouTube videos, too many of them, like those unexplained mystery videos, and you know, just a lot of other things. I commented maybe on a few of them. I didn't want to make too many videos recently, you know, because I was just kind of like, you know, I don't know how I'm gonna approach my psychiatrist in regards to, like, you know, things that I would like to learn, because, you know, one of them could be something that could be done through like Babbel.com, and then the other one would be something that you really would have to, like, search into, like, you know, maybe a community college, see what they have to offer. And I don't know if I'd be eligible for the FAFSA again, because I already applied to it, I think, a couple times. If I am eligible for it again, you know, that would be very helpful. But the issue is that I want to be ready for it. I did ask my psychiatrist for medication to help me like, you know, focus on my studies. Problem being was that I did not realize my daughter was going to be out of town for most of this month, and the main reason I wanted it is because she stays up late at night, and I wanted to be kind of like alert while she was, like, trying to read to me, and then she was gone, so I haven't even really had a need to use the medication. But I don't know how it's going to work in the future, so I'll just wait till I see her and see what she has to say. And I also have to have other things done, which I'm trying to, like, you know, I'm trying to save money at the same time while, you know, taking care of other things. I got to get blood work done. And yeah, that's about it. So let's see if I will put those two scenes together that I accidentally turned off the video, and make this 1 hour-long video where there's nothing to see here. All right, I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. Today is Monday, July the 10th, 2023, and everybody have a great week. Please, if you'd be so kind to comment, I'd really appreciate it. I have to go back because I haven't been on my actual channel for a while to see if anybody has commented, so I can try to return the comments. And yeah. Oh, thank you for the couple new subscribers. I did see it went up a couple, so thank you for that. And oh, Laura, if you do watch this, I hope the move went very well. I am sincerely sorry I did not come to say goodbye. I had been under, quite honestly, I just didn't want to leave the home, you know, just because of personal reasons. Be it maybe I just wasn't feeling too, you know, like I don't like leaving the house a lot. And I don't know if it's true, but I've been hearing a lot of things about like going on and stuff like that, and I don't know if it's true, I don't know if it's not. I mean, I'm sure everything's okay. I'm sure the kids are okay because, you know, kids don't, you know, they're still in their own little world. I hope the best for all of them, for my niece and my nephews. I hope the best for all of them. My daughter, it really does feel like she's taking a turn to where she doesn't really see her dad as a hero anymore, which is okay because I really wasn't much of a hero. All I was just someone that, you know, I did have relations with mom, but I mean, I do love mom. You know, maybe not in the way that mom would appreciate, but, you know, I love her in my own very way. Mom is the only person for me. And if mom finds someone else, then, you know, I'll go to my regular life, which, to be quite frank, I really don't mind being, I would never say being by myself because there's no such thing. If you have love in your life, love will always be with you. That's one thing that I'm a firm believer in. So, you know, be it in, you know, someone walking by and smiling, or someone coming by and starting a conversation, you know, someone you can listen to and learn from. You know, those are all little signs of love. You know, your parents wanting to invite you over. My parents, the way that they've been very, 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 very patient with me. You know, it's of course they're never gonna get the credit that they deserve for it. So I don't know how I would be able to repay them for that, except for the fact that, you know, start taking my psychiatrist more serious, and you know, and try to put pen to paper at one point with the ideas that that flow through my mind. Maybe sit down one day, and really try to, you know, try to concentrate on what, you know, the things that my psychiatrist, who's a very nice, you know, young lady, and she has encouraged me. Last thing she said, why do I not take a class? I looked through several programs online that offer classes, like, you know, like tutorials on how to learn how to do things. But I realized that those tutorials are, some of them might be in depth, but I've noticed that after watching a lot of different YouTube that I like different cultures. I like Germany, you know, I really, really like Germany. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Italy too, but, you know, Italy is, you know, I don't think I'd consider Italy a challenge like Germany. I took like, I think about 4 weeks of like Italy, like of Italian 101, And after like 4, maybe 6 weeks, I was already like, I already knew how to pronounce the words. And I used to do this thing with like this game with rice, where if you got the words right, you get like a certain amount of rice. My vocabulary in Italian at that time was pretty well, and like I said, it's a phonetic language, so it's very simple. It's not like French, which in my opinion is a little bit more difficult, as well as Portuguese, which in my opinion is a little bit more difficult. So Italian would be number one, because the other day I saw a video that said, your small goals, tackle those first. That way those small accomplishments will keep you motivated. So then maybe after that, I would like to learn how to speak German. And one of the reasons I want to learn how to speak German is because of, if you guys want to look up the meme, it's the angry keyboard kid. This young kid from Germany. He's not young anymore. And I actually wanted to get in contact with him the other day. I was like, oh man, he's looking for someone to rap on his beats. Now, I don't know what kind of rap I would do, because for the most part, if I'd want to do a rap, I would want it to be, like maybe about love, or, or just something about, not any, I wouldn't want it to be something violent, or unless the situation called for it, maybe in like 3 months' time, if I started becoming a hardcore dealer, and I had that experience, which I really do not want to, because becoming a hardcore dealer is a lot harder than you think. You have to deal with people that, are constantly going to try to overstep your authority. And in overstepping your authority, you may have to do things that you might eventually have to face consequences for. But you have to do that, because if you don't, you're not going to survive in that kind of like merchant activity. So so I'd rather keep it like something, like raps that have to do with like love, or a rap like let's say someone was to rap to like like an ex, or maybe like a friendship that went foul, something like that. Rap doesn't necessarily have to be about violence and things like that, or doing illicit activities. I mean, it helps because kids that don't really know what they want to listen to may want to listen to that, but not all kids are the same. You can't judge all kids equally. Some kids might listen to a rap about love and they might say, oh wow, this is beautiful, and that might just be their thing. So you might have, there's always, if you go to school, you always find out, how much of a demographic there is for a certain product that you're trying to like put out into the market. So anyways, with that being said, let me go ahead and cut this off, because I hear mom opening the door. And let me just say thank you to everybody for listening to this long rant with no jump cuts. If you made it to this point, you are a legend. You're a legend. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful evening, and bye.